Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video. So I thought with 2022 drawing to a close, I would do a bit of a kind of top 5 personal favourite pieces of gear that I've tried this year. Some of these were released in 2022, others were released in years previous and were just new to me this year. I had debated just sticking with 2022 releases, but as the majority of particularly guitars I've tried this year were actually made before I was born, and particularly the ones I've really taken to, I thought it made sense to kind of do a broader spectrum. So some new, some old, but all new to me this year. And I also think it would be a shame to not mention if there's a particularly standout piece of gear from years back that is still standing up to today's new designs, new production, and specification techniques. It makes sense to include it because it's all the more testament to that particular piece of equipment. So with all that out of the way, we'll jump straight in. So in the number 5 spot, I've got the Fender Hammertone Reverb. Just hold that up, let the camera focus for a second. I checked out a number of the Fender Hammertone series earlier in the year. I'll leave links to those demos, or leave links to any demos of products I talk about today in the description box. But I really took to the reverb pedal in particular. I thought it's a really rock solid unit. It's got some really nice sounding reverbs in there, but also a very attractive price tag. So accessible to anyone, whether it's a first pedal to go on a first pedal board, or to go on a 10th pedal board build. I particularly like the plate reverb setting on here, which is what you heard in the plain segment just before this clip. And you've also got some nice tone shaping capabilities to cater for different styles, different genres, that kind of thing. So all in all, just a really well built, rock solid reverb pedal, particularly for its respective price point. So the number 4 spot, I've got what is my most recent purchase at the time of making this video. This is an LSL Bad Bone 1. So LSL are a California-based custom shop. So it's basically just a 50s style Telecaster, really well built, really nice sounding, and it's very lightweight. This is like 6.5 pounds, which is what I was looking for. I traded in a couple of guitars to fund this one, as I'd actually been noticing, having done a lot of kind of extended recording sessions this year, that I was getting a bit of a dead leg 3 hours into the session. So I wanted something that was nice and lightweight, sounded really good, and just really reliable, and this ticked all the boxes. I'll be doing a full demo with this guitar in the new year, and really it probably would be higher on the list, but as I've only had it for such a short amount of time, I thought I'd give it the number 4 spot. But that's the LSL Bad Bone 1. Number 3 spot, I've got another C-style guitar. That's the Chapman ML3 Traditional Standard model, and I've done a whole bunch of demos for Chapman this year. Some of them on my channel, some of them on the Chapman channel, but I think over the course of the year pretty much played the whole lineup, and this was the one that really stood out to me, and it's possibly actually maybe the cheapest of the set that I tried, but and not to say that necessarily outperformed the other guitars, but just on a set of specs, this was the one that resonated with me the most. And I actually ended up preferring this one to the Pro model, again based on my somewhat unconventional set of spec preferences, but I'll leave a link to that video in the description box too. But I just thought it had a really nice neck profile, really nice rolled edges and fretwork, which for a guitar of this price point, again, it's not something that you always see, and I think it's a good thing to prioritize on guitars of this price point, because obviously you can upgrade electrics, pickups, tuners further down the line, but if a guitar doesn't feel good to play, there's not all that much you can do about it. So I just thought a really nice, well-built T-style guitar that stood up to guitars in a much higher price bracket. I think at some point it would be cool actually to do a comparison video to have a Pro model and a standard model side by side. If that's something you would be interested in, do let me know in the comment section, because I'll go to Chapman with that idea and hopefully we can make that happen in the new year. That's the Chapman ML3 traditional standard. So in position number 2, I've got a set of Strat pickups. These are the Old Bones Classic SC set, and these are like a vintage voiced Strat set of pickups. What I really like about these pickups is the amount of clarity and focus they have at just about every level of gain, so all the way from clean to really kind of over the top fuzz, distorted sounds. Use these an awful lot on the album I've just recorded. And there are plans to do a lot more demos with Old Bones in the new year. So Old Bones pickups are a relatively new company from the UK. All handmade pickups, and just about every pickup you can think of. So you got S-style, T-style, Filtertrons, P90s, humbuckers, whole host of humbuckers, I think, different kind of level of outputs, Jaguars, Jazzmasters. I'm going to leave a link to the website in the description box for anyone who'd like more information. We've got plans to do a lot more demos there next year, but also for anyone who wants more information on any of the pickups, get in touch with Sean at Old Bones, who runs the shop there. He is the nicest guy, and I'm sure he'll be more than happy to get into conversation with anyone who'd like to chat all things pickups. The number 1 spot probably doesn't come as much surprise for anyone who's followed my channel for any length of time, but this is the 1983 Fender JV Stratocaster. That's Japanese vintage Stratocaster, and pretty much as soon as I got this jumped into my top 3 guitars that I own. For me personally, this is the best Strat that I've ever played. Very vintage in spec. You got the 7.25 radius, tiny frets. Just a really rock solid, great playing, great sounding Stratocaster. Certainly not one that I've ever got plans to sell, and has been used on plenty of videos, will be used in plenty more, and plenty more recordings to come. So that's my gear of the year for 2022. I just want to finish off by saying a huge thank you to anyone who's watched any of my videos this year or listened to any of my music this year or years previous. I just want to say a huge thank you for all your support, a very genuine, heartfelt thank you. Have a happy and healthy 2023, and I will see you next year.